Let's start with question number 1. Which number cannot be written as the sum of 3 consecutive integers? And the options are 24, 33, 42 and 50. So, first step is to consider 3 consecutive integers. If I take the first integer as n minus 1, obviously next would be n and third must be n plus 1. As in the question they are asking for the sum, so we are just adding them, n minus 1 plus n plus n plus 1. What do we get here? 3n, as minus 1 and plus 1 gets cancelled. So, it means the sum of those 3 consecutive integers would be clearly divisible by 3. Correct? Okay. So, now we need to look out all the options one by one. The first option is 24. Is it divisible by 3? Yes. Now, option B, that is 33. Is it also divisible by 3? Yes. The third one is 42. Is 42 divisible by 3? Of course. Okay. Now, we are moving to option D. So, option A, B and C, as we have seen, they all are divisible by 3. So, this would not be our answer, as the question is which number cannot be written as sum of these 3 consecutive integers. So, let us check option D, 50. Is it divisible by 3? No, it is not completely divisible by 3. So, it means option D, 50 is the correct answer, which cannot be written as the sum of 3 consecutive integers. Okay, I hope it is clear to everyone. Now, we move to the next question. Here the question is find the next number, where the numbers are like 3, 7, 15, 31 and 63, and we have to find the next number. And options are 95, 111, 127 and option D is 129. So, how to start the question? We need to understand the pattern actually. So, the first number is 3, and if I multiply 3 by 2, that is 6, and adding 1 we get 7. Now, 7 is our next number. So, multiply 7 by 2 and add 1, we get 15. That is again the next number. So, continuing the same way, 15 times 2 is 30 plus 1, 31. So, to get the next number, we need to repeat the pattern, 31 times 2 and again add 1 here, we get 63. And for getting our answer, now we need to repeat it one more time. So, means 63 times 2, that is 126 plus 1, we get 127. Clearly we can see in the options, answer is there, that is option C, 127. Let's start with question number 3, that is the sum of 4 consecutive odd numbers is 80. And what is the largest number over here? Options are 19, 21, 23 and 25. So, again we will be using algebra method here to make it easy. So if the first number we consider x, so obviously the next number would be x plus 2. Why x plus 2? As we are talking about odd numbers. So like if I am taking the first number as 1, so next would be 3 only for odd. So means we are taking a gap of 2. So as the first number is x, second is x plus 2, next would be x plus 4 and the fourth number is x plus 6. Now we have to take their sum as it is given in the question equals to 80. Correct? So now when you add these four consecutive integers, 4 times x as we can see, and 2 plus 4 6 plus 6 12. Correct? That equals to 80, which makes here a simple equation. Quickly we can solve also, and after solving this, what do we get? 4x is equal to 80 minus 12, that is 68, and when you divide both sides by 4, so it becomes 17. So here we get the value of x 17. Now we have to find quickly all the odd consecutive integers. So the first one would be here 17 only, next would be 19, and then 21 and 23. So which is the largest integer here? Obviously 23, and in the options it is option C. So it means our correct answer is option C, that is 23. I hope it's clear to everyone. Yes, actually many students solve this by trial and error method also, but for selective exams we usually prefer algebra as it's often faster and more reliable. Let's start question number 4. If 27 times 43 is given here 1161, then we have to find what is 2.7 times 4.3. Actually we don't need to multiply, we need to understand the pattern, and before that quickly see the options. Option A 1.161, option B 11.61, C is 116.1 and D is 111.6. Okay, let's start the question. As we can see, if we divide 27 by 10, we get 2.7, correct? And if I divide 43 by 10, then again it is 4.3, right? So it means when I am taking their product, that was already in the question, 1161. So together it has to be divided by 100. So in that way my answer is 11.61. I hope it is clear to everyone. So means the correct answer here is option B, that is 11.61. Let's do question number 5, that is how many odd numbers are there from 1 to 99 inclusive. Means we are including 1 and 99 both, and options are given below: 48, 49, 50 and 51. If we start counting, the question becomes too lengthy. So here we are doing it without counting every odd number. Just we are observing numbers from 1 to 99. If I take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and so on. You must be observing very interesting thing. Numbers like odd and even, they are coming in pair. So here the last number would be 99 and here 100. So means one odd number and one even number. Correct? Total 99 numbers are there. So means how many pairs should be there from 1 to 98? Obviously 49 complete pairs will be there. Again one odd and one even number. And next 99 is also an odd number. So we are adding one more in that. So we have total 50 odd numbers are there. So what is the correct option? That is option C, 50. So means our correct answer here is option C, that is 50. The question was quite easy. Yes.